this video, we will look at how to connect the motor power cable to the Grifco D-drive variable speed inverter controllers. The Grifco D-drive variable speed operators require cabling from the motor junction box on the operator to a DDI7, DDI12 or DDI15 wall controller using a Grifco MPC6, MPC8 or MPC12 cable. For your safety, ensure all power has been disconnected to the controller before you begin installation. The cable should be a 4-core braided shield cable with 3 active lines for the motor and 1 protective earth core. The braided shield should be connected to a small link wire. Each core on one end of the cable should be fitted with a ring terminal, with the other end terminated by bootlace crimps. Before installing the motor power cable, ensure that the wall controller you're using is an inverter model starting with DDI and that the motor junction box has been set up in Delta configuration. A diagram of the Delta configuration can be found on the underside of the lid of the junction box. If the motor is in star configuration, reroute the connecting plates into position for Delta configuration. To connect the operator side of the motor power cable, start by taking the hoop terminal end of the cable and feeding it through the metal EMC gland provided, fixing it to the motor junction box. Next, locate the protective earth screw in the motor junction box and feed both the protective earth core and the cable shield over this screw, securing these connections with the split rings and nuts. Next, connect each of the active lines 1, 2 and 3 to U1, V1 and W1 respectively, ensuring each line is securely fitted with a split ring, washer and nut. Lastly, ensure the cable gland is tightened and the cable is not able to be moved when it is pulled. To connect the controller, start by feeding the bootlace crimped end of the cable through a cable gland on the underside of the enclosure. Connect the protective earth core to any of the protective earth screw terminals located at the bottom center of the circuit board. Connect the shielded earth core to any of the remaining protective earth screw terminals. Lastly, connect the 3 active lines of the motor power cable to the removable motor power plug connection marked T1, T2 and T3. Give a gentle pull on each cable to ensure they are securely connected to each screw terminal. Remove any excess slack on the motor power cable and tighten the cable gland. Lastly, close and secure the lid. For a detailed wiring diagram of the motor power connections, refer to the manual or the quick start guide, which you can find by scanning the QR code on the side of the wall controller. If the power, encoder and safety brake cables have been connected, you are now ready to power on your controller and set the limits.